Widowmaker. Maybe even like Tracer in some kind of odd scenario, although Tracer's not really anywhere close to the meta right now. But those are the heroes you kind of think of when you think of Striker. You don't necessarily think of like a Mei or a Bastion. Those all picks you kind of leave to the Architects and Rascals of the world for the shot.
Out of the doors they come, and it is going to be the Reaper for Striker. Looking out of the ordinary in terms of team compositions. Sinatra possibly tries to work the high ground. I've seen some teams play, defensively on that high ground with Sigma to cover a 1 DPS play, but somehow Chocoban gets decay out of that one. That is not something that can be happening here for the Gladiators, losing their Doomfist so early on. Chocoban, that kinetic grasp is going to net him a lot of shield, and the Gladiators are struggling. They are crumbling, and the shock, it's almost like they're inexorable at this point, Matt.
This is really quick.
Oh man, that stings.
This is a Gladiator map pick, and they just roll over them to take point A. So, 9-2 on the map for the Gladiators throughout the season. We've seen the Shock have some really close matches on Kings Row. Specifically, think some back some of the ones against the Titans, but they come out, they're able to take point A. They have a Coalescence here, as Shaz probably built up pretty close to his, throwing out some damage orbs from the spawn, trying to get some kind of damage off to build up the ultimate, but this Coalescence from Violet in the streets, you're kind of conflicted if you're the Gladiators. You want to get up, fight around the corner quick, because you want another chance after he uses this.
Coalescence early though, the Shock want to be the one starting the fights off here. Violet can see off into the corner that Striker was a little bit low on health. He's trying to keep him up with this Coalescence. Trades are good though. Roar and Decay are both down. No Doomfist on the side of the Gladiators means they definitely lack that extra impact late in the fight. And Sinatra is bringing that in spades. Surefour, oh! He's knocked down by Accretion, and then he falls foul of the Meteor Strike. This is a clinic!
How many series though have we seen throughout the playoffs where it's decided on, like, can your Doomfist go in, get a pick, right? We haven't seen that from the Gladiators at all. Like, we saw it when they had Hydration on the Doomfist the other day, but we have not seen it from Decay thus far. Sinatra goes in, takes a player out in the back line, gives the Shock the advantage right away. They're moving the cart really close here to getting that second checkpoint.
They're not stopping. Look, they want to keep starting the fight. Gravitic Flux. When does Striker try and go for the Death Blossom? Not now, that's for sure, but a sound barrier provided by Big Goose. Gravitic Flux now from the Gladiators. What can they do with this? They need to get a pick. They need to find some blood. But the Hydration going down first. Striker finally decides to pull the trigger. And it is a massacre.
They're getting rolled.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, they're getting rolled. I mean, that'll be the second point here for the Shock.
Matt, Mr. X, Overwatch League analyst.
Hey,
they're getting rolled.
People see me and Sideshow teamed up in rank. They know how it feels to be the Shock right now. I mean, they start rolling on through us. So they use a Supercharger, they use a Death Blossom, and the Shock didn't even have a sound barrier at that time to get through the Gravitic Flux. This will be Coalescence from both teams. Big Goose able to take out Chocoban here first, which is actually pretty big.
Okay, Decay drops in just enough time for Striker to get out of the blast zone, but it doesn't matter. Gladiators win, but spend a heck of a lot on that fight.
They needed to. I mean, what do you do? I mean, you can't just kind of keep playing for the next fight. Eventually, you'll have no more fights left. So
4 minutes 42 on the clock, Matt.
Yeah, they do end up taking this. So you'll have Meteor Strike here for the Shock. You'll probably see them try and combo. Let's say it's a halt with a Meteor Strike. Maybe connect with a pick off of that. You know that they do not have any support ultimates that keep anyone alive through that type of combo.
All right, Sinatra has a bit more margin of error with the Meteor Strike available. Doesn't use it here, goes for a Seismic Slam. Meteor Strike now, Surefour's very low. Yep, Smurf finishes him off. He's not able to connect with Decay with the Rocket Punch, but he hides behind the stack. And he will wait. The 5v5, great work by Big Goose there. Just edges Smurf off the map. And I don't think the Shock want to push on now without that Orisa. Coalescence? Maybe they do. If they get rid of Roar, it could be huge. Gravitic Flux now, Roar's going to be up in the air, and it's a sound barrier, very timely. The Shock invests deeper, and they are staved off again by the Gladiators.
Yeah, but the Shock get an advantage here, though, because they'll have their own sound barrier to come back in this next fight. The Gravitic Flux for hydration, you'll have to use this. Sound barrier will come out and just kind of negate that, but they do get Striker early.
Yeah, they're getting Striker early kind of means that there's no chance for the Shock to come back in that fight. And look at them all caught so close together that Shaz sends in a Biotic Orb and gets a lot of value.
Now both teams kind of back to even in terms of support ultimates. I mean, Violet a little bit ahead in terms of Coalescence, but it's not really an issue. You build it up so fast. Let's see, maybe you're able to hit a Meteor Strike combo with a halt. maybe they want to use the Meteor Strike here to just kind of get out of harm's way. Okay. He's going to use it to engage.
Short4 looking for the back line here, and he's done a darn good job of it so far. Striker though gets 3 in an instant. It's going to take a little bit more than that though when Short4 has his own Death Blossom to ruin the party. He pops in over the top and lets it rip, but Striker shuts him down mid-ultimate. Are you kidding? Fighter and Striker now need to try and get some extra distance, and that coalescence nets them enough kill.
Striker with 4 in the fight turns it around. It was actually a good Meteor Strike Vault combo from Roar and Decay, and they're able to pick 2 kills off of it at the start. But Striker with a big Death Blossom then to finish. Sakart moving towards the end of the map.
Sinatra down early, Decay got him, and they invested the Supercharger in this fight. They'll get nothing for it. And the Gladiators are finally stabilized here on King's Row.
But it's really, I mean, Decay is just starting to come alive. That's really what it is. I mean, you're seeing now in a few fights, Decay now able to get the better of the Doomfist matchup. And I think Short4 was really good in their previous matches, getting into the backline when the Doomfist was creating chaos. Maybe they felt they needed an upgrade in terms of Sigma, but now you're starting to see the Gladiators get rolling on defense.
It goes to show how much, as a Reaper, you need the space that a Doomfist creates for you. Oh, Short4, so sneaky. Can he get Trick open? Kinetic Grasp. Decay actually got the finish off on the Sigma there as well, so once again, the Shocker bundled out of the Foundry.
It's a tremendous hold here from the Gladiators as well. I mean, if you're able to hold on and prevent the Shock from finishing the map, I mean, this is one where the point 8 take from the Shock was really clean. They're able to move the payload all the way through the streets without any sort of defense from the Gladiators. The Gladiators now coming alive. It's like 4 minutes plus on the clock when we started this.
They have just milked 3 minutes off the clock. Violet's coalescence here. Meteor Strike from Decay. It's been very sharp the last few moments. Can he continue this trend? Rocket Punch charged up. Spur Flow got the finish with the fist. Sinatra able to respond here and gets rid of the Moira. That's a lot of healing off the table. And Raw's now down. Shields are down for the Gladiators even. Decay needs to find something here, but he can't stand out in the open too long. He does not have an Orisa to protect him.
He has to back up, gives space. Striker as his Death Blossom has been moved towards the end of the match. Sound barrier as well here from the Shock.
Short4 teleporter into the back, but he's
the Kinetic Grasp too.
Sinatra takes him down, a bit of extra shielding for Trick open now, but has Hydration sends the accretion in. This is wishful thinking from Striker. The Kinetic Grasp eats up a lot of that Death Blossom, but Striker's still looking to try and get some of these big bodies out of the way. Accretion, don't know how Striker didn't get hit by that one. Roar is very low. Meteor Strike onto Striker, Decay gets 2. There was no assist there, it was actually the Hulk to set it up by the looks of things. Smurf now is going to be forced to back away, and Hydration has the run of the place. 23 seconds left for the Shock to finish.
And Roar and Decay have had a really nice round in terms of comboing those halts and Meteor Strikes. So the last few of them didn't result in big kills. That time it did, as Decay lands on top of a few members of the Shock, take them out. So see if the Shock can get back, make this a final fight. They do have some ultimates if they can get to the cart.
They can't lose a player early. Sinatra needs to be a factor in this fight. He's hit with accretion. Sinatra now, Meteor Strike, more for safety than anything else, but it seems to work out. Raw's all his own. The Gladiators are completely split up. Big Goose now backing away, gonna have to try and stall this out on his own. Short4 gets rid of Moth, but he's too far away from the action, and the Shock get the foot in the door, and that's all they needed.
But I think that is still a really good defense from the Gladiators compared to what it looked like it was going to be to what it ended up resulting in. They're able to pretty much hold all the way to the end, Shock complete the map, but no time left in the time bank for the Shock, where they had about 4 minutes to take that final point. We'll see the Gladiators offense after this.
Support your team with the official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at CokeStore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes.
night and day. That is the difference between the Gladiators between map 1 and 2. They really turned up in the later half of their defensive effort.
They did. I mean, they needed to. I mean, that was going to be a tremendous time from the Shock. The Gladiators knew they needed to battle back there towards the end, and I feel like they started to get much better play from Decay. So can that carry on over to their offense now? I think you're going to see both teams, nobody really kind of deviating from the Reaper Doomfist setup. I think this is kind of what you've seen be the meta throughout the playoffs. I think you've seen the Bastion thrown in, May occasionally, but this is really teams like
bread and butter, so to speak. You know, you really need to have a good grasp of this composition.
Which is why I think when we get these like crazy holds like the Gladiators put on, it's kind of rare. I feel like a lot of teams have like a high level of aptitude playing this map in general. They understand the different compositions and angles of approach. Right now, it's all about the shields, baby. Decay thinks twice about punching forward. Looking for a better angle here, again with the cancel. Just trying to get as close as he can to ensure that he gets a critical blow. There it is, he got Violet. Look, Decay's patience paying off there.
Yeah.
Sinatra has to try and go in and reciprocate. Decay was very low, but he managed to get out alive. Thanks to the extra shielding and Striker. Looks like some modern art on the walls there.
It's very difficult for the Shock to even battle back through that when they lose Violet, such a large part of their healing. But then Striker tries to make a play, he teleports over the high ground behind Decay, and Decay just turns, hits him with a right hook.
I mean, generally, Yomori is what, like 60+% of your healing in a lot of cases, depending on how close the Lucio wants to play to the team. Some Lucios like to go further, work for the boop plays like Big Goose is known for. So it's a big part of the healing. Coalescence is there for Violet.
You probably use the Coalescence early here from Violet. Get Shaz out, try and get a stop here early on.
Both let him go.
Yeah, not surprised.
Okay, Shaz trying to get aggressive with these, though. He's looking for... Yeah, he quickly realizes a couple of his compatriots were a little low on health. Throws out the healing. Here comes Decay. Meteor Strike. Very quick decision from him. And he is rewarded for it. He gets Smurf immediately. Chocoban there takes himself down ultimately. I mean, it would have been him or someone else.
And
either way, he was done.
His Meteor Strike to get out of harm's way is Smurf actually got pushed up a little bit further, and he was like on the retreat, so he couldn't really stop and like get away from the Meteor Strike that was coming from Decay. He would have gotten taken out by the other members of the Gladiators. So see, he just kind of stops, gets hit with that Meteor Strike. So now the Gladiators push up. They want to stop the Shock from even coming back and trying to contest this. You have everybody here getting together for the Shock, try and put up one last fight.
Everybody flux. Shawfall goes in. They're going to be forced to land on top of an opening Reaper, but great sound barrier from Moth there to protect the Shock as they drop down. Now it's their turn to try and go for the Sigma Rock play. Again, a sound barrier is going to be drawn out of the Gladiators as a result of this, but Striker's gotten Shawfall, and that'll be the cleanup now. The Shock, it's their chance to try and stabilize here on defense, and then done it earlier than the Gladiators did too.
I was going to say, this is a fight win for the Shock that the Gladiators did not get on their defensive end.
They were shoved out of this part of the map on their defense.
Yeah, it'll play out much differently as no support ults for either team, none of the Gravitic Fluxes online, just Meteor Strike. So in this type of scenario, Roar and Decay have been really good, at least here on King's Row. It's comboing with the Halt and Meteor Strike. We'll see if they can try and set it up and get in, get a pick. It's like Decay was thinking about maybe going for a
Halt
combo.
He's got him!
Nice.
Meteor Strike now. Can he double down? Drops in, bit of damage on Moth. That's about it, though. He still stays in the center of the fight. Hydration's been taken down by Sinatra, and the Doomfists are dictating the pace here. Sinatra's able to evade Decay for now, and they back on up because they lack their tanks.
Yeah, they lack a shield. I mean, when the Sigma is alive, Chocoban, for the Shock, you just have the extra ability to have the shield. You can play a little bit further back.
When you have no shields, you're definitely afraid of Sigma mostly, right? And Accretion's going to hit you. You're going to hit the Hypersphere, AoE damage.
And Sigma does so much just like AoE damage coming through the chokes here. Like, it would be difficult to push on through it without a shield to try and block any of it.
Coalescence up. Holt followed in there. Chocoban got hit. Looks like he was stunned up briefly, but Violet will be ministering to his wounds. Healing orb thrown out there. A lot being spent on keeping Chocoban up, but still is not enough. You can see where the Gladiators are focusing. Can Sinatra make the flank work? No, he runs straight into a fortified target. Raw was ready for it one way or another. Striker is close to a Death Blossom, but no, they've lost Smurf as well. The Shock clutching at straws here. And Striker realizes it's better that he turns away.
Yeah, they probably probably have to back out. And
No
concede
contest
the
here.
point. Yeah, I mean, nobody coming back, getting close. So 3 minutes and 38 on the clock for the Gladiators. But yet again, it's set up by another good halt combo from Roar and Decay. Whether it be the halts and the meteor strikes or the halts and the punches, they're doing a good job comboing these ultimates, setting them up.
Look,
yeah.
there's been a defense here for the Shockman after that stabilization, but you're happy if you're the Gladiators, you're close. You can almost smell victory, but Decay, you wouldn't want to smell him. He's back in spawn anyway.
Yeah, you lose them coming in. You need to push up and fight this. It's like one of the most important corners on the map.
You just need to
Especially for
roll
the
around it,
defenders.
right?
Yeah, as soon as they get around that first corner, I mean, we saw it for the Shock. They win that fight at this corner, they move the payload around next corner. You're home, you're down the home stretch, and it's very difficult to defend in the open space. So the Shock, they win that fight, they hold on to some ultimates. They're trying to put together 2 or 3 defenses off of these ultimates now.
Gladiators, though, they can't overinvest. They've caught Raw out of position. They have to use Coalescence to try and keep it alive, and it still doesn't work. That is a huge mistake from the LA Gladiators. They're able to trade back and get rid of Striker. It's back and forth. Decay is trying to salvage this situation, but Sinatra shuts him down. The new import, dragging his team, kicking and screaming, but they mess the fight up. They lose their main tank early. Ultimates were spent by both sides, and a bit of a stalemate remains.
You will get back here and get control of the cart, though, for the Gladiators, because you lose a few members of the Shock.
So is that worth it?
We'll find out. This will be, well,
Oh,
no. Yeah,
dear.
but they get aggressive. It's actually probably caught them off guard a little bit as the Shock are backing up, and they look like they're going to concede this corner, and then they come around it right away. They drop a supercharger, and they just push on forward with Sinatra and Striker. They use a Death Blossom. I think just the pacing of that probably caught the Gladiators off guard. They thought they were going to back up around the corner,
But that's
give
the
some more
Shock.
space. But
This
yeah.
is what they do. They turn real aggressive on that defense, but now they have to know they're going to be facing down an unmitigated Death Blossom unless Violet gets the Coalescence online in time. Shawful wants to make it happen quickly, but they lose Raw already. Do you go for it? He still goes for it, and he's stunned immediately. Still able to remain in the fight, but Smurf is down. Shawful managed to get what he came for, but is there any more to be getting here? Trigobin seems to be out of position, and he is in deep trouble. The rest of the Shock realize they have to double down, now losing both of their tanks. It's too late to escape, but they're going to try to anyway. Mob is low. Decay warded away for a moment by Striker, but Shawful shuts him down. That is messy.
But it's a win. It doesn't really matter how you get it if you're the Gladiators, right? I mean, they needed to get a fight win there. A loss there puts them at about a minute on the clock. They're depleted on ultimates. And then the Shock, they know they can give up that one fight. They can give up that corner, then just hold for the end. It's a big fight win for the Gladiators. That's why you see them invested. They needed to win it.
Hydration caught out of position here, Matt. Kinetic Grasp will do the job. Sinatra's found the Reaper, though. He might haunt that target even more. Hydration somehow being kept alive. Eventually, Sinatra puts him out of his misery. A rising uppercut. Mutual knockdown between the Doomfist, but Sinatra was in enemy territory. Striker's still able to capitalize and get rid of Raw, though. Shawful has to step up with a big Death Blossom, but the Coalescence is going to mitigate a lot of that damage. He gets Striker and have to be happy with just that kill. Trigobin backs up, constantly projecting new barriers to keep him alive. Decay's punch got a lot of damage on that Sigma, but he'll be healed up. 17 seconds remaining in the round now, and the Gladiators have to regroup. It's one fight territory. Last chance to elude for the Glads.
And the Meteor Strike from Sinatra gets the Gladiators to back off the cart, and they're going to have to walk into a supercharger here from Smurf.
Not what you want. 4 seconds on the clock, and here we go. Hydration shield is low. Sinatra gets the punch up, and Raw, he was on his own. No protection. Sinatra got rid of the Orisa in that case. And now Hydration is up in the air. Knockdown. Bigger creature hit on towards Striker, and needs to head back to his back line, peeling for them, getting Shawful away from his supports. Keep an eye on Sinatra. Decay now has Meteor Strike. Hydration has Gravitic Flux. Can they keep Shaz alive? No! Sinatra gets 2 with 1 Meteor Strike. Talk about getting blood from a stone. Smurf goes down to Raw, though, but he's knocked up. Shawful hit by an Accretion by the looks of things, and Striker cleans up 2 now. Raw trying to step up to the plate. No! Big Goose sails over the top and over to the sunsets. Another map for the San Francisco Shop.
And that's about as